What's up, everybody? So I'm honestly kind of just winging this video because I wasn't going to make it. I really wasn't. I didn't think it was necessarily necessary, but it's really more of a want than a need. And I really want to talk to you guys one more time before the draft. I know it's 10:30 at night, so all of you that, I know a lot of us are out of work or out of school, but I know this is a late night for some of you guys, so I apologize if it's an inconvenience, but I just really wanted to discuss the draft one more time until draft day tomorrow, which is, of course, April 23rd, and it's at 8 p.m. Eastern. The New Orleans Saints, of course, have the 24th overall pick in the first round, and this is the first round is some very interesting stuff. So, not just talking about the first round, I want to talk about some stuff that the New Orleans Saints should grab with their draft picks, becoming like the first round, mid round, and the end of the draft. So this is a video where I'm just going over some positions and players I really want to get. A draft guide, essentially trying to steer some people in the right direction. Of course, the draft is 1,000%. Analyzing the draft is 1,000%. All up to you. Everybody, that's one of the most unique parts about the draft. Everybody finds a prospect they like. They analyze them, and they say, yo, we need to go get that guy. That's my favorite part about the draft. So I'm not trying to take any that away from you guys because, of course, we all have our own individual prospects. I'm just sharing mine with you and really trying to go over some of the team needs from an analytical standpoint and try to really push the narrative of getting certain players at certain places because that's where I just see fit. But of course, this is my own. So go ahead and leave down in the comment section below. I want to see yours. I want to read everybody's. What is your New Orleans Saints draft guide? What I want you to do, and this is how the format of the video is, the first round, leave what position we need to draft and 3 players for that position. And then have the mid rounds, where round 3 through like 5, where you get the position you want to draft in the mid rounds, and then 3 players, and then the end, and you could just put the position. That's what I want you guys to do, so leave it in the comment section below. But with that being said, let's get into today's video where we're covering the New Orleans Saints draft guide, in my opinion. Now, what I'm going to say here is that the New Orleans Saints should do this and this only in the first round. BPA. I want you to draft the best player available. Whether that be a quarterback, running back, wide receiver, linebacker, corner, safety, offensive lineman, whatever it is, draft the best player on the board at that point in time. Our team is built to win. There are prospects we can get down the road in the draft for certain positions. Get the best player available at 24. But still, I'm going to highlight the one position that I think trumps all as far as, needs go. In round 1, I have us selecting a linebacker. I feel like this is a pretty obvious one that I've preached many times. With the loss of A.J. Klein, Kiko Alonso, Alex Anzalone, and Caden Ellis all suffering season-ending injuries last year, it would be stupid for us to sit here and ignore the extremely blatant need for a linebacker. Like, it's insane how blatant the need is. Not to mention, last year, seeing Craig Robertson and Stephon Anthony getting snaps during that San Francisco 49ers game broke every single ounce of even the slightest amount of trust I have in our linebacking depth. It was absolutely terrible. They were attacking the middle all game, and it worked because they could not do their job and cover the players they were supposed to cover, and that is what lost us the game in the long run. I do appreciate Craig Robertson's extremely lucky tipped interception, but they didn't do enough to win us the game. They were the sole reason we lost it, in my opinion. We really lack linebacking depth to the point where it makes me want to throw up. Players that we could draft at this pick for this position, my first would be Patrick Queen from LSU. Patrick Queen is a great coverage linebacker who, despite not starting until the 4th game of LSU season last year, rivaled other top linebackers statistically. He could immediately improve the Saints' biggest point of defensive weakness, a coverage linebacker. I think Patrick Queen is a phenomenal prospect, but a lot of people prefer the second player I have on this list, Kenneth Murray. Overall, a better player than Patrick Queen. Yes, I said it. Kenneth Murray is overall a better player than Patrick Queen, in my opinion, but he doesn't really fix that fill-in immediate need that I feel our defense needs. He, like I said, is a fantastic player overall. He's an amazing tackler, but his coverage ability is a bit lacking. He allowed a 106.6 passer rating compared to Patrick Queen's 93.8. A 13-point coverage rating, or a passer rating difference. That's a big deal. That's a difference maker right there. But he would still be an absolutely amazing pickup. Those two right there are what I feel are the top two linebacker prospects at 24 for the New Orleans Saints, but I threw in a third player just for a little bit of diversity, and that would be linebacker Zack Baun from Oklahoma. Oh wait, I sorry. Linebacker Zack Baun from Wisconsin. Please don't flame me. I accidentally said Kenneth Murray's school again. I really apologize. Zack Baun burst into the scene as a senior and has continued to fly up draft boards throughout all of the end of the college football season. While he's a bit of a tweener as far as the NFL goes, which means he's too small to play 3-4 edge like he did at Wisconsin, while also being inexperienced as an off-ball coverage linebacker, he's got a transferable skill set and a trait, being pass rush, that can translate regardless of the scheme he runs in. While he lacks the athletic upside of TJ Watt, I think he's more refined as a player, and if he ends up in a defensive scheme with a creative defensive coordinator, his skills can be optimized. He's very decent at coverage, and he does a great job at rushing the passer. I feel like he can, stay in a little in-between zone, kind of like Von Miller did in his rookie season, and at the very early bit of Von Miller's career. I feel like he can pull something like that off and really have his skills optimized by Dennis Allen. I think Zack Baun is a sleeper that may fall due to his diluted sample, which I don't know if that's really going to have anything to do with it, but if Kenneth Murray and Patrick Queen are both swooped up, I think Zack Baun could definitely be a prospect that will be available and could be given consideration by the New Orleans Saints. So that's what I feel like we should take in the first round. Let's go over what position I think we should take in the mid rounds, which is the round 3 through 5. I think we need a wide receiver. I think we need a wide receiver just to really hone in our offensive capabilities. Adding Emmanuel Sanders really took us out of the first round wide receiver scene, in my opinion, but that doesn't mean we still don't need a wide receiver. Tre'Quan Smith still has time to develop and has shown flashes, but his road will be coming to an end soon if he doesn't start letting those sparks fly. Some players I think we can target here are 1. Tyler Johnson from Minnesota. I think he's a mix of big and speedy. He does not lack the big playability and is a fantastic route runner. He could complement the duo of Emmanuel Sanders and Michael Thomas amazingly. Tyler Johnson from Minnesota is an extremely underrated player that I covered in a video a few videos back. Go ahead and check out that wide receiver video because I really honed in on Tyler Johnson. The next player I have is Donovan Peoples-Jones from Michigan. I think he has a good combination of skill and size, which are really keeping his draft stock afloat. He never really performed what people thought he could perform like. He never accounted for more than 21% of Michigan's receiving yards, which you usually want it to be 30% of the receiving yards that are being covered by a prospect wide receiver at this point. I think Peoples-Jones could become a sporadic downfield production in a good offense, kind of like a Philip Dorsett type of player. I feel like he could, have some splashes and really add some depth as far as the wide receivers go. But I don't really think he clears us out of the Tre'Quan Smith situation. I feel like he has a similar ceiling to what Tre'Quan has. The third wide receiver I think we should select from 3 to 1 or 3 to 5 is Von Jefferson, who I promise you I already explained. Go watch Mock Draft 1.0. The dude is absolutely insane and could really be a big difference maker in this New Orleans Saints offense. I think he could fit perfectly and be a very fun weapon for Drew Brees to go ahead and use. So, I'm not going to cover this one too greatly, but for the late rounds, I have QB and corner. I don't think a quarterback is something that should be stressed in the early rounds, but I do think that if a player like Jordan Love is available in the first round, I wouldn't be surprised if Sean Payton decided to pull the trigger on that. I think it's completely unnecessary, but Mickey Loomis already stated that if they see a prospect that they like that plays quarterback, regardless of their quarterback situation, they're going to select it. It doesn't matter that the New Orleans Saints haven't selected a first or second round QB in like 40 years. It doesn't matter. They're still that chance that if there is a player that the New Orleans Saints like, they will draft him. Sean Payton said that we will be drafting another quarterback at some point, or picking one up during undrafted free agency or the free agency period. So I think it would be not a single hair of a long shot to see Sean Payton draft a quarterback in the late round, because we only have 2 QBs on the roster, and in case one of them gets hurt, we're kind of screwed, and really leaning on the fact that the other one won't get hurt. For corner, I feel like the loss of Eli Apple really hit us hard as far as depth goes. I think we need to add another corner for depth, and I think that it could, fare to be a late round corner that doesn't really need to be starter material. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I really just wanted to put one up and kind of discuss the draft and really go over some things before it really came and hit tomorrow, because in case you've been sleeping under a rock, tomorrow is the draft, which is absolutely insane. Thank you guys so much for watching. Comment down below, like I said, and I'll see you boys in the next one. Adios. Where's the stop record button? Here it is. Goodbye.